Locked in a closet, covered in a layer of dust, are hundreds of files, pictures, videos, and newspaper clippings documenting paranormal activity and unexplained events. These are the VAPI archives.
So, how long have you lived in the house?
About 2 years.
About 2 years.
But born and raised, because I actually grew up down there.
Okay.
In the house across the field.
Oh.
And then my parents built on the other side, so they're right over here. So
you've been in this house when you were young. Had you ever
every day.
experienced any activity then?
Not that I remember, no.
No. But you said you moved in here about 2 years ago, and that's when you started noticing things, right?
Oh, yeah. It's,
what kind of stuff?
Like I said, I try not to pay attention to it. I don't see it much. I'll be sitting on the sofa and I always see something going up and down the hall or whatever, and something's always falling.
What does it look like when you see something like out of the corner of your
shadow.
eye? Just a shadow?
Shadow moving.
Like a figure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I know you said something about hearing footsteps upstairs.
I hear all the time.
3 o'clock in the morning or so.
Pretty much every night. Did you ever hear it when you stayed?
I slept like a baby.
But I hear it all the time.
I felt it.
Yeah. But like I said, I tune it out now because I'm here by myself, and
I get overly scared.
No. But I don't go upstairs at night.
Yeah, so you kind of live basically on this first floor for the most part. I mean, you have everything you need down here, so not really a big reason to go up there.
When I want another piece of furniture or something, or ran out of projects to do to keep me busy, because I try to redo the antiques, I'll go upstairs and find something that I want to redo and bring it down.
Yeah.
That's about the only time I go up there.
Why is it that you don't go upstairs?
I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about it. After dark, it scares me. There's one room in the front that I've had nightmares about since I was a kid. And it's the same nightmare over and over and over again. And I see hair, and I know it's a woman, but it's a skeleton. And it's not nice. It's evil, and I don't like it, and I won't go in that room. I call it the bad room. I've called it the bad room since I was a little kid.
Do you know of anybody dying in that room?
No.
Any of the rooms upstairs that somebody passed away in?
I have heard that my great-great-grandmother died upstairs. I don't know if it was that room or not. And I do know my great-great-uncle, falling down the steps and dying. And that's all I know. I mean, I've heard so many different stories, but...
Has anyone ever been negatively impacted by any of the spirits that might linger here?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you believe, but there's been quite a few people here that have come in here and have left not in the same mental state. And they lived here and they were fine, and then when they left, they weren't. And that's what scares me. Well, my ex, who's now in jail, he progressively got worse as when we moved in here, because we were together for 12 years. We lived together down there in that house, and we were okay. He never laid his hands on me until about 6 months after living here. And it really got bad after that. And like I said, the first time I was sitting right there, a lot happens right there. As I was sitting right there when he punched me twice and fractured my eye socket, and then a couple months later, our relationship, of course, got worse and worse, and that's when I finally, after I kicked him out of my bedroom first, and he stayed in that room, and that's when I walked in on him one evening with his both eyeballs completely black, and it really scared me, and I ran to my parents. Literally ran to my parents. And his voice wasn't right either.
What did he say to you? Was it just something random?
Yeah. It was very deep, and I don't know, it just scared me so bad. I just ran because I've never seen anybody's eyes look like that in my entire life. And I don't ever want to see it again. And then after that, I kicked him out. And he went and lived at the motel, and he stalked me. And just, everywhere I went, he would come. He came to her house, and he stole my car from her house and took off and wrecked it somehow, and then brought it back, and it ended up blowing the motor, and that's how I ended up with that piece of crap out there. And he tried to get me in the vehicle. He just wanted me there, in the vehicle, but they fought him off, and then he broke in here in that window, and that's when it's an axe handle in that window from me, because I put it in there so he couldn't open it, and I nailed the hell out of it. The axe handle is nailed in there. You can't get in that window. And then 2 days later, that's when he had been emailing me, because I'd blocked him from calling me. So he'd been emailing me, and I knew he was out of his mind. And so he had already broken the protective order that I'd gotten on him. So he's pulling weekends. Well, it was a Friday, so I stayed in Richmond longer because I wanted to make sure he was in jail. That he had reported to jail, and but he didn't go. So when I got home, he was waiting on me, and like an idiot, I don't know why I didn't get back in my vehicle and leave, but I just wanted to get in my house, and then he come running and pushed me in the house, and that was it. I mean, he held me hostage for 2.5 hours, and he beat me he kicked and hit me so bad with steel toe boots, and my liver and kidney was bleeding out because he wanted to kill the baby, and an imaginary baby. And like I said, he held me down in the bedroom and tried to cut it out of me, and he stabbed me in the kitchen, and then in here he did some really, really messed up things. And the only thing that stopped him is I was sitting right here again in this chair, and I got a sharp pain in my head, and I was covering my face because he was trying to break my nose, and he shaved my head with electric clippers in the bathroom, and he choked me out about 6 times and in the hallways, and And he wanted to make me ugly so nobody would ever want me again. So I was sitting there and I got a sharp pain in my head and I was like, oh shit, I'm having a stroke, because my mom had had them. Yeah. And so I went with it. I pretended that I couldn't talk, and I pretended that I was going in convulsions and all that. And it woke him up, I guess. I don't know. And he started punching himself and fell on the floor. And then he got up and he put everything in a box that he used on me. The clippers and a couple of knives, because he used about 4 or 5 on me. He left the main one that was in the floor here. And he said, what can I do? And I said, call my dad. And he finally gave me my phone back. And my brother was getting married the next day here on the farm. And so my dad thought we were just fighting. So my dad come in here and mad as hell. He was like, I'm naked, because he had ripped all my clothes off and I was in the floor. He had picked me up above his head and slammed me on the banister, the stair banister, and broke my back. So I fought for an hour and a half after that with pure adrenaline, because once I was in the floor, I couldn't walk. My dad tried to, he's like, get up, you're not ruining your brother's wedding, and blah, blah, blah. And then he saw the blood and he stopped and he was like, are you okay? And no. I don't know how I fought, because I couldn't walk at all. She came, her and one of the EMTs had to carry me outside to get me on the gurney. And
wow. You're lucky to be alive.
I don't know. Well, you know, him being an MMA fighter, I would think he could have killed me at any moment.
Oh, yeah.
But I think his main goal was to torture me.
Yeah, just to hurt you.
You mentioned an incident with the cane.
Yeah, same chair. That was about 2 weeks prior to that. Yeah, that's when he fell on the floor and said I was a witch. What did I, you know, he had a cane behind him. He was standing there and I was sitting there and he was going to bash me over the head with it. And 3 different times when he went to bring it forward to hit me, and something grabbed it. And the 3rd time, he fell on the floor and started cussing me and saying I was a witch and what have we done to him and all of that. And like I said, this chair right here is my safe spot, because it's saved my life quite a few times. Whatever is in, I don't know, it's something. It's something here that has saved my life.
So you just kind of wanting to figure out what it might be, if perhaps whoever's here has a message for you, or we can get any indicator as to who it might be.
I feel that it's my Uncle Bobby. I don't know why. I do feel my nana's here. I find buttons all over the place, and that was something that she collected, was buttons. And after she died, we'd find them because she died right up there at my parents' house.
Yeah.
But we find buttons everywhere now.
But you said you never met your Uncle Bobby, right?
That's my mama when she was little, and that's my Uncle Bobby beside her.
Okay.
No, I never met him. But they say I was just like him. I'm the hellion.
Yeah.
And he was the hellion. They say I was just like him.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have met him. I don't know why I feel that it's him.
Yeah.
I just do.
So, I'm sorry. beginning.
So we're going through here doing our baseline sweeps. And what we want to do is compare two different meters. So we have the K2 meter as well as the tri-field meter. So we can compare readings. And obviously the electric box here is going to put off a high EMF field. 56, 61, 75, so pretty high, which is natural. But another thing is this room is where Linda got an uneasy feeling. She said, you couldn't pay me to sleep in this room. Now, just from to rule out all possibilities standpoint, right here, this electric box is giving up a high EMF field. If someone's sensitive to that, perhaps it could cause a feeling of uneasiness. But in the room itself, so far, the EMF fields don't seem too high. I was talking about right when you come in here, there's the electric box right here, which gives off a very high EMF.
Yeah.
Now, do you think there's any chance that could be responsible for your feeling?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because I've been around too many electrical boxes and they don't give me that feeling. Even when I walk into our own utility room, you know, at home, you look over and there's the panel box right there on the left-hand side. Yeah, I never get that feeling in the utility room. It's something about the okay out here, but the second you walk through this doorway, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling at all.
So continuing our baseline sweep, I gotta say this is a pretty cool dream catcher right here.
Have you had any spikes on that at all?
No, nothing except for near the power box.
Okay.
You know, Fred said you should have done with Parker's glass earlier? What? You should pick him up the food in that basket.
Is it this dresser she's referring to? The nightstand, or is it the wardrobe here?
I don't know. That one's not giving off a very high field though, by any means.
She said the dresser makes her feel, she gets freaked out by the dresser. Is she referring to this? Is she referring to the nightstand, or is she referring to the wardrobe?
I don't know, this one looks pretty old too.
Yeah. This would be considered more of a dresser.
It's a vanity.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go upstairs here and look around. And she refuses to come upstairs. And there's one particular room that she's had nightmares about. There's another that I believe somebody passed away in. There was a spike right there. Not significant. I mean, it went up to a 2. But I have to question why it's not doing it again. I mean, the highest we're getting is 0.2. So we look for spikes like that. Now there are things that could give that off. Have to double check and make sure there's no Wi-Fi routers downstairs beneath this level, because sometimes stray spikes come through from that. But nothing that's giving it off now, so it's definitely noteworthy that it was there for a moment and then gone. I want to say that this is kind of creepy. And then over here on the dresser, there's another, oops, creepy little doll there.
Oh, look, I thought that was somebody standing at the top of the stairs. This was Jeff.
Yeah, it is hot up here, isn't it?
Sure is.
That one?
No. The one I was thinking of. It's over there. That one behind
That one?
Jeff. That's the only one that I thought was kind of peculiar.
Got my flash on.
Did you look in the crib in that room?
In here or that one?
This one that you said was peculiar.
I may have. Why? Is there something I need to say? Yeah, I saw all the dolls.
Bunch of creepy dolls.
Well, this was had the spirograph. I mentioned that earlier. I mentioned how old this
That does look like an old checkerboard,
old checkerboard.
So we're gonna start upstairs, and what we're gonna do is something interesting. Door's opening.
Oh, well, I finally got to see him open the door.
Did it? It's like a person stood up like
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo and pulled the thing open. Okay, I'm Jeff.
Mike? I'm Will.
And this is Linda here with the headphones on. Now Linda is listening to you, so if you talk, she can hear you. Okay? We're here because Kimberly asked us to come here. She is a little concerned with coming upstairs, and we're trying to find out if there's any reason that she should be concerned with coming up here. Could you tell us why you are here? It's the floor. Are you related to Kimberly? Did you used to live in this house?
Marshmallow.
Could you tell us your name?
First two. Sounded like. Or hers too.
Could you tell us how many spirits or how many people are in this house? And we got the temperature fluctuating on the REM pod. Do you remember the Civil War? Or the war between the states? Do you remember any of our names?
Something.
go. Okay, we got temperature and contact on the REM pod.
Can you do that again?
Yeah, if you'd like to use that to communicate with us, you could. If it's all right with you that we stay up here for a little bit and talk to you, can you make that light up again for us?
Almost sounded like apology or...
There we go. We got contact again. All right, thank you.
It's definitely female voice.
If you're related to Kimberly, can you do that again? Light that up for us again? Okay, we got temperature. All right, can you stop? Can you make it? Okay. I really liked how you made the green light come on. Because sometimes that little sound there, it happens at random, and we don't really know 100% that it's you, but I guess we could try to test that. Okay, how about if you're not related to Kimberly, can you make that light up? Okay, now we got the green light, which is contact. So I'm thinking the temperature change is just because of the natural elements, or more so the green light is what we're getting. All right. So you're okay with us being up here, talking to you for a little bit. You're not related to Kimberly. Okay, so I'm getting a yes for both of those. Confirmed. All right, let me ask you another question. Can you make that stop? Okay. If you're here with ill intention, can you light that up? All right. If you're here with good intention, can you light that up?
Comment?
Almost sounded like come from out this side, didn't it?
Oh.
If you're here with neither good nor bad intention, can you light that up for us? If you're here because you want to be here, can you light that up for us? That's temperature. And we need that green light to make sure. Can you make that stop? Okay. Can you try telling Linda why you want to be here? If that is true that you want to be here, can you tell Linda why?
Here and right now.
Right here and right now?
That's what it sounded like, huh? I hear like a girl's voice that comes through every once in a while. Or so it seems. It sounds like a really soft voice. Are you a female? Interesting. Okay, can you make that stop again for us? Let me ask you this. We heard a female's voice coming through that thing that's in Linda's hand. Was that your voice?
I didn't quite catch that.
Just gonna ask a confirming question here. Are you a male?
Something like recently?
Okay. Do you know Kimberly? What was that?
You hear that behind me?
It sounded like footsteps. Dum, dum, dum. Yeah.
Killed two?
Can you tell me how long you've known Kimberly? Can you try telling Linda? Do you like it better with the lights out? Like right now, with it dark? Are you more comfortable? Okay, we got temperature. It is interesting during this spirit box session because it didn't seem like there was a whole lot coming through the spirit box. A few words here and there, but only a few the few that Linda gave out didn't really correlate with anything we were asking. At least I didn't think so. But what was cool was the REM pod. We were getting activity on the REM pod, and it seemed to be in response to the questions. This person that was talking to us said that they were not a relative, that they did not mind us being upstairs, and then I asked a confirming question. I said, so you don't mind us being up here, and you're not related to her? And it went green again for yes. We hear a girl's voice constantly coming through the spirit box, and it just sounded like one of those voices that it didn't sound like a radio personality. It sounded like a very soft female voice that was coming through. And I said, are you a female? And it lit up. I asked a confirming question, are you a male? It didn't light up. So possibly we were getting some responses up here, and it seemed at the end the communication stopped. So we decided to wrap it up, close out the spirit box.
So a few minutes ago, we got some confirming responses on the REM pod that indicated that whatever was answering the questions was female, knows the resident, but is not related to her. And in speaking with the resident earlier, she had a friend that was staying up here and had an experience and left abruptly and then moved up to Richmond, and then approximately 2 months later was tragically shot and killed. Is this who we're talking to? I don't know, but it certainly seems to fit the description we were given.
So we also have to be careful because, demons can be extremely manipulative and tricky. And it could be that it's something that wants to make us believe that it's her friend that was shot and killed tragically when it's not. So that's another thing we always have to be careful of and have to keep in mind whenever we're approaching or talking to somebody and we don't know who it is.
And a demon would know her, not be related,
Yes.
and from my experience typically be a female.
Right. Yeah, you think so? So we're about to go into the creepy room. I call it the creepy room because when we first walked in and started kind of taking a tour of the house, this is the room that felt the worst. It had this kind of, like weird, heavy feeling to it. And it made me really instantaneously dizzy the second that I crossed the threshold and went through that door there. So we're going back in there now. So exciting.
Okay, I'm Jeff.
Well, Mike.
And this is Linda with the headphones on. And she can perhaps hear you. She's ready to listen to you if you have a message that you'd like to get across. The reason we're here is because we want to deliver that message. We want to find out what your message is, who you intend your message for, and we want to try to get that message across to them. So this is your opportunity to talk, and that's really the only reason that we're here, is so that we can listen to what you have to say. If talking is any kind of an issue for you, that red light on the table, if you come near that red light, it'll light up, it'll change colors, it'll make some sounds. It'll just let us know that you're here. So at any point, if you want to talk on that, you can give us yes, no responses by touching that. Go ahead and do that, please.
There was a gentleman that used to sleep in here. What was his name?
What? You hear something?
It just sounded like a different frequency noise than
On the radio? Yeah, like a
Sound-
high-pitched type thing?
Yeah, like a cat doing that little kind of a sound.
I heard that. I did. I think it came from the spearphone.
Did you like the man that used to sleep in here? If you didn't get along with him, could you touch this light just like I did? If you did not get along with the man, please touch that light to let us know.
Did you do anything to the guy that stayed here? Did you affect him in any way?
So it was actually really quiet in there. I was kind of surprised. We weren't hearing hardly any radio stations even coming through. Just a few, in a narrow section of the bandwidth, but then nothing else after that. And really no voices that were coming through that didn't sound like something that would have been on the radio, except for that one screech that I don't even know how to describe it. It was almost like a scream or something at one point, and I don't know what that could have been, but it was pretty quiet in there.
But the sensation in there.
It doesn't feel like that anymore.
No.
And it doesn't. The feeling's gone. It felt lighter. It was much easier to be in there, but it still had almost like a little bit of a lingering residual effect. Like I can still go through that doorway and get a little bit dizzy, but it wasn't like fall over dizzy like it was when I first went in there. So I don't know. Whatever was in there at the time has obviously left.
There was no activity with the REM pod either in there, which is interesting because we were getting some hits upstairs. So, battery's new. It's working. It's interesting how some places you get interaction with it, some places you don't. But now, we're going to turn it over to Will. And Will's got an idea about doing a solo EVP session.
Yeah.
Right? You had that idea, right? Or
I did. It was my idea.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I thought.
I wasn't voluntold. So I had an idea earlier while we were walking around the house. I was like, you know what? What if I did a solo EVP session upstairs? It's me, complete darkness. Only lights is the camera. And see what we get. Be up there for about 20 minutes and then come back down, and then you guys will head up and I'll listen to the audio in real time. That way if we get any sort of responses, we can ask the questions while we're still here, not after the investigation. Yeah, this is really creepy, only being able to see with the IR light. I think it's the one where the lady died in.
Either that or the one that she had the nightmare about.
Maybe. Or it might be this one. The one that's like falling apart. Okay. Alright, well. I can't really go any further than this, so I'm just gonna sit right with it. My name is Will. Is there anyone in here with me? Voice is downstairs. Okay. Alright. Alright, beginning EVP session in the bedroom. One with all the dolls. Going lights out. Okay. There are voices downstairs. Okay, my name is Will. The reason why I'm here is the woman that lives here. She says that she's had some experiences in this house. And she just wants to know that she's not alone. And that there are other people here with her at all times, even though she can't see them. So, what my job is to get your voice, or get you on camera, see you in person, to show to her that everything's okay. So, you know my name is Will. What is your name? I feel like I heard a voice. We'll kind of treat this as like an interview. I'll ask you a question. You can answer, and then you can ask me a question. Now, I won't be able to hear what question you ask me, but I'll go back and I'll listen to it. So tell me, what's something that you want to know about me? It's really hard to breathe in here. Is this place haunted? Are there other spirits in this house? How long have you lived here? This house seems pretty old. It's been around for quite some time. My house was built around 1920. When was this house built? Do you know? Sounded like I heard someone. Other than Linda's voice. How did you get to be in the situation that you're in? How did you come to this state of being? You know what? I got this. This is a K2 meter. What this does is it lets me be able to see you if you touch it. Can you touch this light for me? This green light. Can you come up and touch it? If you do, it'll light up. It won't hurt you, I promise. But if you're here, can you touch it for me? That'll let me know. It'll let me know that there's someone listening. There's someone here with me. Can you touch this light? Are you the uncle of the woman that lives here? She feels that you're here with her. I can't remember your name. Can you tell me what it is? Are you here to protect her? Are you, or do you know the person that stopped her angry boyfriend from hitting her with the cane? If you were, good job. I'm really glad that you did that. It was a great thing that you did. You saved her. And she thanks you. So I just got done from doing a solo EVP session upstairs. I listened to the voice recordings, didn't get anything on the voice recorder. Did feel like a couple times like I could hear someone upstairs with me. It felt really heavy. It was really hard to breathe every once in a while, being up there by yourself. So I'm curious to see how it feels again when we all go back up there about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Alright, I'm Jeff.
I'm Mike.
I'm Will.
And this over here is Linda. And she can hear you if you talk to us. You can talk to Linda. She's going to tell us what you say in case we can't hear you. The reason we're here is because we want to know about you. And we want to know why you're here and if there's anything we can do for you. Could you tell us your name?
It was that same female voice again.
Okay, temperature.
Can you turn that light that's to the side of it to green? Can you do that for us?
We're wondering if this house was ever used as a hospital during the war. Do you know how many people died in this house? Aside from the four of us, those of us who said our names, how many others are here in this house?
When you hear
So you may have seen that you can make that light turn green, and we could use that to ask you some questions. If you're willing to use that, or you'd rather use that than talk, we can do that. All right, so I'm gonna ask you some questions. And that green light will be yes. If you just leave it alone, it'll be no. Are you the same person that we were talking to earlier when we were standing outside of this door? Temperature.
Oh, look.
Huh?
That turned red. My triangle.
Oh.
Down the other one.
So now I see that you figured out how to work that triangle that's sitting there on the desk. On the right, you touch it, it turns red. On the left, you touch it, it turns green. So, just to show that you're actually there, can you touch the left side and make it turn green? Touch the left side of the triangle for us.
Temperature.
Well, if you don't want to touch the triangle for us again, can you touch this red light, make it turn green? Show us that you're still here and willing to communicate with us.
Some kind of bug? I don't see anything.
Are you a male?
Okay.
Do you know who lives here?
Smell something?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Almost smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah. You smell that?
I don't.
It was like right as that lit up.
Yeah.
I smelled rotten eggs at that moment. And I got chills.
Yeah. Do you smell something, Linda?
Do what?
Do you smell something?
No.
Come over this way.
But I've
Come,
been feeling something.
come over here.
No. I don't think so. What do you smell?
It smelled pretty rotten.
Did it?
Yeah. And it was right
It was right when that lit up.
when it lit up.
Was it? The temperature sensor's been going off a lot, hasn't it?
Did you fight in the Civil War?
Is there something in this house that scares you?
That was me.
Stuff touching you? Stuff touching you?
It feels like a spider web.
I've been standing over here feeling like that the whole time. Like just various parts of my body felt like there was a little something,
Yeah.
something lightly touching me.
Right. And then earlier there was something, I thought, I looked on the ground because I thought I might have flicked a spider off my arm. Because there was something like
Crawling.
on there. And I looked down on the ground and there was nothing.
I know. That's how I've been the whole time we've been in this room.
So who's in this room with us?
Triangle only lit up the one time.
Mm-hmm.
And see, when we were at the depot, it was the green side that lit up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And this time it was the red. So it's not like it's doing the same thing or anything like that.
Did you once live here? Were you in a car accident?
It's weird.
Do you have a niece?
Sounds like your cell phone.
Cell phone or computer? Are you protecting someone in this house?
There was that noise again.
It's on the computer, like a.
It sounds like it's coming from outside, doesn't it?
Either that or downstairs, like it's very thin.
It's like a text message pop.
Are you here because of her ex-boyfriend?
Did someone invite you into this house?
Did you know Kim's grandparents? I understand they were very good Christian people. And there you are. So there's a mirror on an exterior wall. You were standing right in front of it, and feeling things and smelling things, and
Yeah, Will smelled it too.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was right as the REM pod was lighting up.
The one who smelt it felt it.
And the one who smelt it second supplied it. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Did you make a stinky, Will?
I haven't had real food.
Yeah, so it couldn't have been Will.
No, it's probably Jeff.
Oh, that's not an extra wall.
Yeah. So because I have the headphones on for a good portion of the time, I don't actually hear a lot of what's going on or a lot of what's being asked, the questions and such. But I do have to say that the whole time I was standing here with the headphones on, it constantly felt like there was like spiders on me is the only way I can describe it. It felt like there were bugs. A couple of times I would reach up and I'd touch my head and make sure there was nothing on me. And then, you know, of course, when the guy said something about come over here, I said, what do you feel something? Because that's what I've been doing the whole time. It's feeling something, almost like something crawling on me. So, interesting sensation. I'm not exactly sure what that was, whether it was something trying to get our attention, something trying to freak us out and make us leave. But whatever the case is, it was definitely strange. And I know we did have the REM pod kind of going crazy over here too for a little while, so no telling what that's about or what we might have on audio.
So I was standing over there in that corner. At first I felt something right here on my arm, and I went like this and threw it onto the ground. I thought it was some kind of a bug, and I shone my light, and there was nothing there, nothing around. So I was kind of curious about that. But then I started feeling what felt like spiders, like Linda said, or spider webs that I was kind of walking through. I was kind of pulling them off, and there was nothing there. And Linda saw me doing that, and she mentioned that she had the same thing happen. But I will say what was interesting is she pointed out there's a mirror on that wall, and I was standing right in front of it. But at one point, the REM pod lit up, and I smelled something. It smelled rotten. And I looked over at Will, and he kind of confirmed. But what was weird is it was me, Mike, and then Will. Mike didn't smell it. He was standing right between us. So Will smelled it, and I smelled it. But I'm not sure what the source of that was.
So there came a point in the session where things weren't quite happening. I just started asking a question, and it responded, and so things started to pick up a little bit. And I guess after I had about 2 or 3 questions that it responded positively to, or seemed to confirm my my suspicions. And I wonder if this wasn't perhaps the resident's great uncle, who may have passed away tragically. And it seemed to confirm some of those questions that I was asking. And then shortly thereafter, it just kind of seemed to die down there. But for a few minutes, things were kind of intense. And, there was some tension in the air. And it seemed like as soon as you began to have that smell of rotten eggs, after that, it seemed to, in my mind, kind of calm down. So it's interesting.
I thought it was really interesting that it seemed to be that we got intelligent responses to our devices. So the REM pod on the ground asked if it was male. Mike did, and all of a sudden it began lighting up. And then you asked something along the lines of, did you die in a car accident? It lit up. That seems to correlate to the homeowner's uncle that passed away due to a car accident. And then we had the triangle that I use light up as well, but only on the one side. It only did it the one time. The K2 meter earlier, I did have it light up. So it seems to be whatever it is just kind of randomly messing with a few things. But whatever we train on and whatever we say this is what you should use, it seems to be that's what it's using as a means to communicate with us. So interesting to see if we got anything on the voice recorder or anything else on camera when we review the footage.